We all have dreams, but in order to make dreams come into reality, it takes an awful lot of determination, self-discipline, dedication and effort. It is said by one of the greatest athletes of all time, Jesse Owens, a grandson of a slave, a son of a poor tenant farmer, the youngest of the 10 children, an African American who turned to be the pride of the United States. How had it all happened? What are the struggles he had faced in his life? How a poor tenant farmer's son became the pride of the nation? That's what we are going to discuss in this part of the class. Hi, I'm John, your English teacher, here with you in this spectacular day to teach the first lesson in the English textbook, An Extraordinary Feat. Let's get into it. In this story, we have three characters other than the protagonist, Jesse Owens. They are Charles Riley. Charles Riley is the school coach of Jesse Owens, and Larry Snider. Larry Snider is the university coach of Jesse Owens. And then the last person here is Russ Long. He was a competitor. He was a competitor in a long jump event who turned to be his friend, his best friend. These are the three characters other than the protagonist in this story. James Cleveland Owens, the original name of Jesse Owens. How had it turned? James Cleveland Owens, born to Henry Cleveland Owens in 1913 in the United States of America. Henry Cleveland Owens is the father of Jesse Owens. He was a poor tenant farmer. Who are called tenant farmers? Tenant farmers are those who had no lands to grow their crops. They rent lands from the landlords to grow their crops, and then they share their crops with the landlords. They are just like agricultural workers. These people are called as tenant farmers. Yes, he was one of them. Jesse Owens was the youngest of the 10 children. Yes, he had 9 siblings, 3 sisters and 6 brothers, and he was the youngest one. So he was the 7th son of the poor African American tenant farmer. They were really poor. The poor family couldn't afford for food, and they moved to the northeastern part of the United States. When Jesse Owens was 9 years old, they have moved to the city called Ohio in the northeastern part of the United States, and there he joined in a school. And in that school, the class teacher asked for his name, and he said Jesse Owens. The word he pronounced JC misheard as Jesse, and the teacher noted it as Jesse Owens, and that's how JC Owens turned into Jesse Owens. It's because of his slang. The African American slang was slightly different from the other Americans, so the teacher misheard and registered it as Jesse Owens. It became his name. Jesse Owens discovered a deep passion for athletics when he was studying in the school. Athletics is a sport played in track and field. The track events or the running, and the field events or long jump, discus throw or shot puts. These are the track and field events. The sport persons who are good at track or field events are called athletes. And he had discovered a deep passion for athletics. He was good at running, but he was not able to focus on sports because his family was poor. To help his family, he had to work part-time jobs in his free time. He had no other choice. He had to work part-time in any other places to help his family. He worked at a shoe repair shop in the evenings. After the school, he was studying in a junior high school, and after the school, he had to work in the shoe repair shop in the evenings. And that was his daily routine. His school coach, Charles Riley, he has given permission to Jesse Owens to practice early in the morning, for he had to work in a shoe repair shop in the evenings. he was allowed to practice early in the morning. He was really happy in that moment, and he owed his success entirely to the school coach Charles Riley. Because he knew that the entire thing which had happened in his life is because of the support he had got when he was studying in the junior high school. It was given by Charles Riley. He was highly dedicated to it. He practiced a lot in the mornings and worked a lot in the evenings. And his dedication grew a lot in the later school years. You know what? He became famous after the National School Championship event, which was held in 1933 in Chicago. He attended it, and in that school championship event, he had equaled the record. He had equaled the world record in the 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash is just the 91-meter dash. He had equaled the record. And one more thing, he had also made a 7.56 meter jump in the long jump event. And it was an exceptional thing that had happened in those days. And he had become the national figure in athletics. And in those later years, his father, Henry Cleveland Owens, he got a steady job. Luckily, he got a steady job, and that made Jesse Owens to study in the college. He enrolled his name for Ohio State University as he joined the college. And his career didn't end there. He worked a lot to become the best in the world. And there came an event, Big Ten Track and Field Championships in the University of Michigan. He was studying in the Ohio State University, and he attended the Big Ten Track and Field Championships, which held in University of Michigan on 25 May 1935, which was just 1 year before Berlin Olympics. And in that championship event, he did a lot. He made a 45-minute feat, which means achievement. 45-minute achievement. He had achieved a lot. He had broken 3 records and equaled 1 world record and became the best sports person in the world. What are those? What happened in that day? During the practice, he had injured his back, and he sat nursing his back during the Big Ten Track and Field Championships. And on that time, he came to Larry Snyder, his university coach, for a help. Jesse Owens was not really sure that he could participate in any of the events that day. His back was really hurt. His university coach, Larry Snyder, he decided that we will participate one event at a time, and we'll decide if you are able to compete in the next event, we'll do, or else we'll quit. That was the decision taken by Larry Snyder, and he accepted it. Both are ready for it. At the time, when it was 3:15 p.m., he attended 100-yard dash, and in that 100-yard dash, he equaled the world record. It was 9.4 seconds. He completed the event in 9.4 and he equaled the world record. And then next, it was the long jump event. He already injured his back, and he didn't know whether he could participate in that long jump event because that would make his injury really worse. And his determination didn't leave him there. He attended that. He participated in that event, and he had done only one jump, a single jump, and that became the world record. He had broken the world record. The first record was broken. One record was equal, one record was broken. And the next one, at 3:34 p.m., the next event was a 220-yard race. He did his best and he had broken that record. He broken 2 records and equal 1 record. And the next event was 220-yard hurdles. He participated in it, he gave his best, and he had broken the record. 3 records were broken and 1 record was equal. It all happened in 45 minutes, and that was called as 45-minute feat. No one had done it in those times. For most experts, this was the single greatest and finest athletic performance ever recorded in the sports. It was the single greatest and finest sports performance ever recorded in the sports. And later that, he was known as the Buckeye Bullet. Ohio is also known as the Buckeye State. And that's why he was called the Buckeye Bullet, in recognition of his speed on the track. He was the fastest person on that time. Born in a very poor family to a poor tenant farmer, he became the national figure. Then he became the international figure. How did he become an international figure? In the Berlin Olympics, he had done a lot of things. He had achieved the extraordinary feat that no one could achieve. How did he become an international figure? What did he do in the Berlin Olympics? Let us discuss that in the next class. That's the end of today's class. Thank you for watching this video. See you soon in the next video.